What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Gran Turismo 6 and another top 10 video. Today I'll be looking at the top 10 fastest classic muscle cars in Gran Turismo. We start at number 10 with the Dodge Challenger RT with a 1:33.305. Every one of these cars went around the Willow Springs, I think it's the Big Willow circuit. Basically it's the biggest version of Willow Springs you can get on Gran Turismo. The Challenger was fairly good. There was 14 cars altogether. I'll show you what 4 didn't make it onto the list at the end. But yeah, this came 10th, so it just managed to get into the top 10, and it was okay. I'm personally not a big fan of the Challenger. It just doesn't look particularly nice and doesn't drive amazing. It was quite slidey, one of the more powerful cars, but I mean it wasn't terrible to get into the top 10. In 9th place is the Chevrolet Camaro SS with a 132.778. The Camaro is one of my favourite muscle cars. You know, it's always been to the new Camaro and the classic Camaro. I really love them both. Sadly, the older Camaro is quite a bit down on power compared to a lot of the other cars. Most of the cars being, you know, high 300 to low mid 400 brake horsepower, where the Camaro is, I think, low 300 horsepower, so it is quite a bit down on power, but it's fairly decent around the corners for a muscle car, which puts it into 9th place. In 8th place, the Dodge Charger 440 RT with a 132.692. Now this, once again, right up there with my favourite muscle cars. The Dodge Charger is probably my favourite muscle car. If not, it's definitely in the top 3 of my favourite classic muscle cars. I just really love this car. Sadly, it does top out a little bit. You may hear that a lot of these cars, they start topping out and hitting the rev limiter at down the straight here, sometimes even coming up to the straight, which means that a lot of the cars can't quite get to their full well, they do get to their full potential, but yeah, it's not great, but the Charger was amazing. In 7th, the Chevelle SS with a 132.690. This is very, very bloody close to the Charger, literally 0.2 of a second, no, 0.002 of a second off the Charger, which, faster than the Charger, which is just absolutely ridiculous. The Chevelle, I believe, was the most powerful car that I had around this track, the most powerful American muscle car, classic American muscle car. Getting on the power can be a bit scary, get it sliding a little bit. Handling is fairly decent though, and you know, the Chevelle was not a bad car. In 6th place, it's the mighty Plymouth Superbird with a 132.304. Now I really do love this car. I just love how insane it looks with that ginormous wing on the back. It's absolutely ridiculous, and you know what, that's what muscle cars are all about, being ridiculous, and I think the Plymouth Superbird probably does it the best. This, the Charger, and the Camaro are probably my top 3. It's hard to kind of say which order they would go in, but yeah, I reckon the Superbird would definitely be in my top 3. It's just an almighty car with an almighty wing, and it's actually fairly good handling as well. Gets to a decent top end speed, and yeah, it's just a very nice car. In 5th place is the Dodge Charger Super Bee 426 Hemi with a 132.147. The Charger Super Bee 426 Hemi is a fairly nice car. It's basically, from what I can tell, it's in the Charger series of cars, kind of the same series, I suppose. It looks a bit different to a Charger, different front end with like kind of the grille and all, just where like positioning of the lights and kind of around the lights is a bit different. It does have a bit more power than the Charger, so that's why it does go quicker. Not sure about weight, but yeah, the Super Bee is a fairly nice car. In 4th place is a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest, the Mercury Cougar XR7 with a 131.983. I was quite surprised to see this in 4th place. It's not one of the most powerful cars, only around about 340 horsepower from what I can remember off the top of my head. It's definitely in the 300s anyway, that's for sure. I don't know. This is kind of I feel like this is kind of a muscle car that's kind of forgotten about it. And you know what? It's a fairly cool muscle car. I like it, and I was very surprised with it handled very well for a muscle car, and yeah, to get into 4th place, I was very happy with that. In third place is an even bigger surprise for me, the Chevrolet El Camino SS with a 131.882. Yeah, I chucked the El Camino in here because, I mean, technically it is a muscle car, it is a classic American muscle car. It's kind of more of a pickup than a sedan, but I never said that it had to be a sedan. So I just thought, I mean, I kind of chucked this in here, not thinking it would do particularly well. I was like, you know, because I knew how ridiculous the gear ratios were on this car. I think it only gets to second, maybe third gear around this track, which is ridiculous. But yeah, the Chevrolet El Camino, was not expecting it to come home in third place. In second place, the Shelby GT350R with a 131.432. GT350R is, I believe, almost a race car, to be honest. I was debating whether to put this one in the list or not, but I did because I think it's a race spec for a car. It's kind of the race spec of the GT350, but it's still road legal, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to chuck it in there. It had similar PP to all the other cars, and yeah, it was very nice handling. Once again, a little bit down on the top speed, but that's kind of what happened with all the cars. And in first place, the Chevrolet Nova SS with a 131.112. I was very happy with this car. Fairly powerful car, up there with the Chevelle and a lot of other cars like the Super Bee and all them. Pretty damn decent power and quite nice handling as well. One of the best handling cars here, which I think is the reason why it goes so fast and into first place. Bit of a crazy looking car with those yellow rims, but yeah, the Nova was quite a crazy car. Wasn't really expecting it to come home in first. I thought the GT350R had it, but no, this took it. So now for the 4 cars that didn't quite make it into the top 10. Now in 11th place we had the Pontiac Tempest Le Mans GTO, that came in 11th. In 12th place we had the Plymouth Cougar 446 back, which I was actually expecting to go maybe a little bit faster, but no, it comes home in 12th. In 13th was the Ford Mustang Mach-1, which I was kind of expecting to be down the bottom, underpowered, not exactly the most amazing handling car compared to some others. And in 14th place was the Pontiac Fiber Trans Am, which I was very much expecting to be in last place because yeah, it's really down on power. That only has about 300 horsepower, not much at all. So I was expecting the Trans Am to come home in last. I was going to put the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray in this list, however, after looking at it, I kind of thought, you know what, I don't really know if it fits in with these cars, so I didn't end up putting it in the list. I may do another top 10 in the future of some more classic kind of sporty cars, and that will be hopefully in there. But anyway, that is it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, comment what other videos you want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video.